Okay.
So don't say anything bad.
I will try. But it's already time. No, we still have 2 minutes, Susie.
Oh,
2
oh,
minutes.
then I don't have to record it yet. I can. Okay.
Oh, and what about Rudan?
Oh, yeah, she said she was coming. Well, let's get started even if she's not here. And that's the last time I'll say that. So, first thing on the agenda, did you guys get to look at the minutes? I apologize for not sending them until this morning, but oh, here she is.
Yeah, the only change I had, Susie, is on the 4th paragraph where you're talking about the open zoning. I would just say rezoning or new zoning. That's
Oh,
all.
okay,
So we just know it's a new zoning program.
okay.
Thank you.
And I would like to add that it states that I was at the meeting last month and I was not.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that and I forgot to take you out of there. So we'll put you in absentia.
Thank you.
There in spirit.
I was there in spirit.
You know, that's good because in many cases, somebody is there and nobody notices.
Oh, dear.
My God, Richard comes with everything today.
So would anybody like to, oh, first of all, I'd like to welcome Brent. And he's the newbie, so anything you guys want to do to him, that's great. You know, we'll pull some Razzies on you and, you know, this is your initiation.
There is no hazing on this arts commission, just so you know, Brent.
You have to pose nude for us so we can all sketch you.
Brent, welcome. It's really nice that you're willing to jump up and commit to the work here. So thanks.
Oh, thanks for the offer. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're here because I know you and I talked about this several times for a while. So I'm really happy to see you in the room.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no,
For stepping
it's
up.
good that my stealth campaign over the past several years has finally borne fruit.
Right, there you go.
Oh my God.
Playing the long game.
So Lisa is on a plane to North Carolina right now, and Anne is on a plane on the way back. So they will not be here, but
I'll
would-
move that we approve the minutes, Susie.
thank you, Peter. Somebody second?
I'll second it.
Okay. And the next thing on the
I
agenda.
think we have to vote and say
Oh,
yes,
yeah. Oh, I
So
forgot.
we're approving it with changes noted.
with the amendments.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, you know, I just get slack about everything now.
Senioritis.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody approve?
Aye.
Okay.
Hi.
Uh,
Anybody opposed?
Susie, I'm sorry. I think it's my time on the legislature. Everything has to be so exact, you know? It's like, I'm in
No,
that mode.
that's great. I mean, somebody needs to keep us in line. So,
I'm a gentle whip cracker, so I will do it gently.
well, you will be a good foil for,
Oh my God, I'm
We know
losing this.
so next on the agenda, we have our approval of the next chair. And I don't know, Maria Elena, you want to shut your ears off or something, or? But
If I want what? Sorry?
I'm just teasing.
Stop your video for a second.
So as
I
you
will
all-
send, I will send.
Do we have to actually officially nominate and like vote that way?
Yeah.
Okay, so I nominate Maria Elena Farrar to be the next president or chair? Is it chair?
Chair.
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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Chair of
president,
the City of
chair.
Kingston Arts Commission.
Second.
Anybody opposed? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Should I vote or I don't vote?
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
vote.
why not?
Okay, so I.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Lovey.
Well,
It's a-
thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a good group, so I think you know that. Anyway, there you go. It's your baby now.
There you go.
Well,
So
I would just like to say one thing before you dive in, Maria Elena, excuse me. Just thank you, Susie, for your service. And, you know, you were doing a tough job when we couldn't meet in person. So I really appreciate all the work you did, and thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Second that.
I'm getting
And
all
all-
teary now.
and all the work that you will continue doing, because don't think that you're gonna get rid of us that soon.
Well, we'll see how far into the future.
Thank you very much, Susie, and thank you for also I don't know if to say to support or to guide or share your expertise and all the information that you have provided me also. I will continue, hopefully. So yeah, and I'm also grateful to all of you guys for the vote of confidence. So I hope that you know, you won't regret that. And I hope I won't regret it either. So hopefully everything is gonna be very good. So well, the next point in the agenda was a review of the bylaws, the history and the mission of the commission. I don't know if all of you have the document with you or if you took a look at that. I don't know if we need to read the whole document or to go directly to the areas that eventually we have some concerns. Ward, would you like to point something from the, because it's several pages, well, it's 4 pages, it's not so long, but I guess that we can just skip directly to what is the purpose of the Kingston Art Commission. That is the section 3 of the document. Do you have the document with you? Brent, do you
But
don't
it's-
have
I
it?
don't have it. Yeah, is it located on the Kingston City website somewhere? I couldn't find it there.
I can
we
send you, I have a PDF that Richard sent me. I can,
Yeah, if
This-
you wouldn't mind,
this
that'd
is
be,
the
if you
resolution
could
of the
email it.
council?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
the
talking about
resolution.
Resolution of the council? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, can you send that to Brent, Richard? Because I don't know how to,
Yeah,
this is an
I have it
attachment.
right
I don't know
here.
how to do this.
Yeah, but I don't have Brent's address.
It's
Well,
Brent
maybe I do. Maybe I do.
askforarts.org.
We
Wait a minute, hold on a
we can't
second.
put it up on the Zoom the way that people of different generation do.
That's
I can't.
true.
Do you have
I
it in
don't
front of you, Ward?
I do have it, but I don't know how to do it.
I can do it.
I have
Well,
it in a different device.
I'll still send it to Brent.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. Anyway, I'm gonna read it, the section 3, or if somebody with a better English would like to read the section 3 of the resolution.
Do you want me to read it? I'm happy to read it.
Sure, Lynn, thank you.
Section 3, the purpose of the Kingston Arts Commission is to strengthen the local economy by attracting and promoting artists, arts venues, and arts entrepreneurs, encouraging cultural tourism, creating opportunities for training and employment in a range of creative fields, and enhancing quality of life amenities that will make Kingston a more attractive city in which to live. By so doing, the city of Kingston will gain greater regional and national recognition.
Go to section 5 too, Lynn. Because
Section
I
5.
was so interested in all these things that, you know, that
Yeah. You want me to read the whole thing? I don't mind.
With
You
all
wanna
the
read it?
points? Okay.
Okay,
you know,
section,
You can share your screen now if you,
it's not, I have another computer. I'm
no,
reading
no,
off of.
Ward can
how
share.
do I
with
do
you.
that?
You go to the bottom where it says
Yeah.
share screen
Yeah,
and you click on that.
okay.
And
You
then
should-
your different screens that are open will show. And then you
Oh.
click on the screen that you want us to see.
Oh, here, like that. There.
Like me.
What do you know?
Oh, I think it might.
Woohoo!
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo.
So where it says what will serve as a resource and collaborative partner by, and then all of these different things, advocating for the role of and value of arts and culture, promoting greater public participation in and access to arts and culture, advocating for exploring and identifying alternative sources of arts and culture funding, including but not limited to grants, donations, and corporate sponsorship. Something that we haven't done, a great deal.
Yeah,
Advising on and advocating for the development, implementation, evaluation, and potential modification of the city arts and culture policies with the aim of fostering a wide range of arts and culture offerings that engage a diverse public audience. That's like a dream,
yep,
And then a whole section on facilitating art in public buildings and public spaces. Something that we have, of course, been talking about with the master plan for the arts, not really given much thought to the fact that it's already in our legislation.
yep.
Board, may I ask just for 1 second if we could just put a brief pause on this section and just go to the section above it? You and I had a brief conversation about it, and I just want to highlight it, the selection of officers. So
The section 4, yes.
no, right there. It's a selection of officers. So we just selected our chair. According to this document, we need to select a vice chair.
And our secretary.
And we need to do this every year.
Yep. Yep.
Also, it says here that 3 of the members should be people from the city.
No, well,
Yep.
right, but they choose not to come. But it says 3 should not be arts professionals, and we decided that we're all arts professionals, and that's just fine with us.
I mean,
So
I'm
then I
not,
have a question. On that. If we decide to can we make change to this resolution?
we cannot.
No,
We can.
I think you'd have to do a brand new resolution.
Exactly. So then my question is, if we cannot change the resolution, how is that we can decide what part of the resolution we're not going to follow?
Like what?
Well, like for instance, when we were talking about the appointees that
I'll scroll to it.
this thing here. Now I lost the thing. Okay, because for instance, at the beginning of section 4, it says that 6 members of the commission shall be arts professional, and 3 of them should be just members of the community with interest in the arts, but not really directly related to art, is my understanding. It's not very clear, it's very ambiguous.
It doesn't actually specify that they can't be. It just says that they have to have an interest in the arts. So I think that's really open for interpretation.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to.
So,
Yeah,
so
like
let's figure out,
I-
do we actually conform to that? Because I would say I'd put myself in that category.
Okay, good.
I'm not,
I would
I'm not
too.
directly an arts professional right now. Susie's not. So there's
And
2 of
I'm
us.
not an arts
And
professional.
Lynn's not. So we're fine on that front.
We don't consider creative writing an art.
Well, Lynn's a writer
We
though.
don't-
I mean,
I don't think of myself as an arts professional. I don't run an arts organization.
well, you're a professional writer though.
Okay, but I mean, I think it's stretching it. I don't think arts professional, I think someone that runs a foundation.
I
or
agree.
arts
I actually
history.
think a journalist is different from a.
Yeah,
creator.
definitely. Then like someone who runs an arts
Okay.
organization.
Okay, so then we agree that it's not that we are changing the resolution. Definitely, we are, okay.
But could I make another point? Because
Sure.
this was written before we had a director of arts and culture, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it says that in some place, it says that the city will designate a city employee to oversee
at
the
the end, it says
implementation
that
of
at
the
the end.
commission responsibilities. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just thinking that, okay.
Yeah, no, it's there, it's there.
Where would you like to go now?
Okay, one last thing that I want to highlight from section 4 before we continue, if you don't mind. Because the resolution definitely speaks briefly about what we are supposed to do and how we can configure the commission. It also says in the 1, 2, 3, in the 3rd paragraph, at the end of the 3rd paragraph, section 4, that this group will form rules of procedure as they deem necessary. And I think that is there, well, we can, all the things that eventually are not clear in this resolution or that we would like to implement or add, I guess that go to this point, right?
Yeah, I read that as the rules of procedure are that we hold monthly meetings, that we take minutes at the meetings, that we present them. What else would be seemed?
I don't
important?
know if we create committees or things like that.
Yeah, we
How
could
the
create committees.
committees are gonna work, exactly. So
Yep.
all those details that are not included here. So I guess that's the more open part of this resolution, that how we are gonna function in addition to what is here. Is that correct?
I would read it that way.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. So then we have, as Ward was pointing out, that the commission shall annually select the chair and the vice chair or co-chairs as necessary and or appropriate. I remember that we used to have a secretary. So I don't know if we need to have 3 officials or 2 officials, or how we are gonna share those roles.
We never had a secretary.
Oh, I thought that Lara was a secretary, but
No,
so
she
she was a co-chair.
Yeah.
Co-chair.
Okay, perfect. So the co-chair is, and we decide also what each of them is gonna do broadly. I don't know. Well, so then I guess that my question will be, if we are starting today, November 11, with a new, I don't know how to call it, term, with me as a chair, regime, no, that sounds horrible. With me as a chair, is anybody, if anybody in the group would like to nominate yourself as a co-chair, or if we can nominate someone else for a co-chair?
Maria Elena, I'd be willing to serve as vice chair. I don't think I want to be co-chair, but I'd be willing to serve as vice chair. If you were not able to make a meeting, I'd be happy to run it if you would.
That works for me.
I don't want to step up if somebody else wants to do that. I'm fine with that too. So
I am really glad to hear that because I was getting ready to nominate you, Peter.
oh, there you go.
Okay, you have three votes already.
Well, I'd like to make an official motion that Peter be the vice chair for the Arts Commission.
Second.
Perfect. Everybody in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye, aye,
Thank
aye.
you. Aye, aye, aye. Thank you, Peter.
I'm happy to help.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Peter and myself, so eventually we will have a meeting or something, but that's great. Okay, good. So continue with section 5. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention, Ward, from the section 5?
No, I just think that in E, for example, that there are some very exciting things that we're now addressing in the master plan. And I think that we should, since the city has already accepted this as our legislation, I think it's wise to remind those who might be wondering where, about the 1% or the 0.5% of funding for the arts, that this is directly relates to the legislation establishing the Arts Commission.
That's a really good point to bring up when we have the final plan and are trying to go out and advocate to the new Common Council members with the plan. I think that would be a very important talking point.
Can you believe I'm freezing the connection?
And
Pardon?
also this, the idea of engage public art as a major attraction for artists, cultural tourism, and economic development, advising the mayor on the site and content of public art, the procedure. I think that this is really good stuff.
Yep.
I also think that we can use this as a tool when we want to begin talking again about a public art policy and say that we were mandated when this commission was formed to come up with a policy that, this was not at this mayor's whim. this was at Shane Gallo was the one that, you know, the Common Council that put this together, and the mayor was before Mayor Noble. So, you know,
Yeah, that's really great, Susie, because I think
Yep.
everything got kind of negatively turned onto Steve Noble about that topic. And it really was created before he came into office. So
Yeah.
the more that we can talk about that, the
I
better.
also thought the public art policy, we were going to implement, it was gonna be part of the master plan. I mean, that's how it was left, I think. After Addie had that meeting at City Hall, I thought that we were putting it aside to have it addressed in the plan.
Yes.
That was my memory as well.
yes. And
Yes.
Mine too.
And I
But it's not included, right?
No, well, no, there's mention of it in there, but it leaves the door open. So when we do come to this again, we can say that this is what precipitated it.
But there's not much in there, right, about a public, I don't recall
I don't recall any public.
that there's
art
really not
policy.
any mention, I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't
I
really,
think it's really kind of loose.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can revisit that when it comes to my turn to talk about where we are with the plan. Why don't we put that on hold for now until we get to that point?
Okay, thank you, Ruth.
Does anyone want me to scroll up or down, or are we finished with this?
Well, I don't know if you want to go to section 6, Ward, if you scroll down a little bit more.
or-
See, when we have the,
can I bring up something about the city officials? So we used to have an alder person, right?
Right.
That was kind of
Yeah.
the liaison between the commission and the city,
We still
but-
do.
but that person, no one has come to the meetings for
No,
well over a year. And it just seems like it would be nice to have some connection with the common council.
well,
It
Pat
will-
Riley he was the one that was the liaison, and he
Right.
came to 1 or 2 meetings. It's his prerogative whether he wants to come to the meetings or not. He's
But
not
isn't he out
required.
now? I don't think, I think he's out now.
now.
Yeah,
So what I'm wondering is, does the commission, do we reach out to somebody or does the city assign someone? I mean, how does that work?
The city will assign
A
commissions.
person, okay.
They'll go through a whole process at the beginning of session to decide
Yeah.
who sits on what committees, and we can
Yeah.
lobby. I mean, we certainly know enough people that we can, if there's somebody that we think would be really great, you know,
Yeah.
let's bend the mayor's ear and talk to Rennie. I think Rennie is the person to talk to.
Yeah,
about it.
Rennie
Yeah,
would
I
be,
think
yeah.
it's actually up to the common council, not the mayor.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Rennie would be the person.
So when does
I
that take, when does that conversation take place? In January or?
in January.
There's usually an organizing meeting that happens with the common council that should be in January.
Mhm.
But
Ruth Ann,
Rennie-
do you know when that is?
Yeah, but Rennie,
I
anyway,
don't
he's
have
still
the-
in,
I don't have the dates, but all of the questions about, you know, since we're in transition with so many new members coming on, we won't really be able to do too much till January. So I'll find out what the dates are for various meetings and let all of you know.
Thank you.
okay. Anyway, I can talk to Rennie about this also, so he hopefully will have it, you know, at hand as soon as possible, because let's say that he is the person, he is still, I mean, he is currently in the Common Council and got reelected for January, so.
Is there somebody that we know right up just amongst us who would be really great?
I agree that Rennie seems to
Mhm.
be somebody who truly cares about arts and culture in our
Yep.
Kingston area. I've seen him, he comes out to things. I
Yep.
mean, that to me is always the measure of how interested you really are.
And he also cares about outreach. I mean, he helped start the Imagine Kingston website, which has been such an important part of publicizing this new zoning effort. I mean, he actually got involved with that. He went on some of the walks. So he's good
Cool.
with outreach.
He also came to our meetings, I think, a couple of times, anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so I can talk to him and find out if eventually we can retake that liaison thing. Okay, so section 6, the powers of the commission shall be to produce an annual calendar of arts events, including related crafts, events subject to the approval of the mayor and the common council. This is something that I don't really know if we can be tasked with this.
I think that's
Uh,
something the Director of Cultural Affairs would do.
It's in the master plan too, and it's a question as to who actually will run that. So I think
But wouldn't
that's,
that be the Director of Arts and Culture? I mean, part of what they would do?
it could be.
We've kind of
Um,
had this discussion since the beginning of time.
Yeah, we have,
know-
it's been going on for years, and MAD is actually, between MAD and, well, not MAD, but
Kingston Happening.
Kingston Happenings, I think further discussion needs to be made as to how to work with Kingston Happenings to
Yeah.
produce exactly what it is we're looking for, because he does other events besides arts events. So
Yeah.
And
Also,
MAD does too, right, Ruth Ann, or partially? Is MAD no longer doing that?
MAD doesn't really do a calendar of
The
events.
calendar, I think they were,
Richard,
but
can you weigh in on that? Because
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, this is,
yeah, I thought Rick was doing it for a while.
yeah, well, but it's never, the whole point is that it's never been coordinated.
yeah,
With anything. And so, you know, everybody says they're going to do it.
and then
And-
no.
And then everybody turns to Kingston Happenings and say, you know, because I guess they don't want to have two things going at the same time, but Kingston Happenings is just an entity unto itself. You know, I mean, it's its own business.
yeah, it's a for-profit business.
Yeah,
And
Dedicated to everything going on, not just arts.
frankly, I think, and we'll be talking about this later, I'm sure. This is something that really should come out of the Arts and Culture Directorship.
That's what I think.
Department.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to help tie everything together. And it's, if each group says, oh, we're going to do it, it'll never really get done.
Right. And the other thing, Richard, about that, like there's new galleries that pop up. There's some new gallery, not part of a group that should be part of this calendar.
well, yeah, guys, I agree with what has been said, and definitely this is a project that by itself is almost like a full-time or at least a part-time position to do. But the thing is it's in our resolution. So again, I'm here like, you know, juggling with the thing, well, it's in the resolution that is part of our powers. I don't know if we will take those powers not as a responsibility, or maybe the power to designate somebody to do that. So that's something that we may need to discuss further, but
It does make sense that it's centralized within the city government.
Can I make a
is it
suggestion?
actually feasible to do an annual calendar?
I mean, I think a monthly calendar.
Yeah, well, that's what I
It
thought.
makes
but-
sense, but the other thing is that this is the kind of thing like an intern could do. You know, I used to do this with as a college
Can I-
intern, this kind of stuff, you know?
I
Somebody
make a
working for the
suggestion?
director.
yes, Peter.
Yeah, so this resolution was created in 2015.
Yep.
It's now it's almost 2022. So this is old at this point. So maybe we should table this sort of deep dive right now and actually have a few people look at it, come back to the commission as a whole with some suggestions on maybe an amended resolution, and then go to the common council and say, we've grown, we've changed, and we would like to amend this resolution or rewrite the resolution. We amend resolutions all the time on the county level. So this could easily be get an amendment and get it put through.
Yeah.
Ruth Ann, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. And we are getting into the weeds a little bit with it, and we have a lot of other items to consider. So I think it would be a good idea if everybody really looked at it and refreshed their own memories about what's in the resolution, and then come back with comments.
Perfect.
Okay.
Anybody would like to join that initiative?
I'd be happy to look at it.
Okay, Peter, it seems that we have a lot to talk about.
Me too.
Actually, I'll look at it too, just because it links to the master plan, which I'm trying to finish up. So
Perfect.
it kind of makes sense.
Perfect. Okay. So then I guess that's everything for the revision so far.
How do I get rid of this now on the screen?
Stop sharing.
Hold on, I have to not make you host anymore. So there you are.
But you cannot click on stop sharing. If
Yeah.
you're the host, Susie, if
Ward,
you're the
if
host,
you
you can.
stop sharing.
Okay. There,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the Director of Arts and Culture position. We have an update, Susie?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay,
I
good.
have emailed Roy twice. I emailed Ruth Ann today. He has not responded to me. I asked him what the status was. When I last talked to the mayor, he said it was going to be the beginning of February or beginning of November, that we would do the interviews, but I have heard nothing yet. So
Did you select the candidates to be interviewed?
no, we haven't heard anything yet. I mean,
I-
Linda and I talked about it, and we discussed who we felt were, the best candidates. We would like to interview, probably 3 or 4 people. And I think there were 15 resumes.
And I also followed up with Roy a couple of days ago and didn't hear back from him. The offices were closed today, so I'll go tomorrow morning. I'll follow up again and just tell him that we may lose qualified candidates if we don't move on this.
Yeah.
It's been 2
I
months,
think
right, or
that's,
more?
yeah, that's
this
the,
point?
the most important thing is that you have to
Yep.
follow up with candidates. This is a really tough hiring environment right now. And
Ridiculous.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need to move quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having
just
a
want-
little trouble with the position in my own department. It's very competitive out there right now.
Yep.
Ward, I just want to say, you have to make me the host now.
How do I do that?
You go back, go back to participants,
Ward has trouble giving up power.
and you click on my name, and it'll say more over to the right-hand side,
Yep,
and then it'll say make host.
make host. That sounds very religious.
It does, doesn't it? I feel like I should go get some wine and a white wafer.
Okay, you did it.
Great, thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. You went beyond your comfort zone. That's great. Okay, Susie, thank you very much. We will wait to see if maybe next week we have some update on that.
And
So
Linda
Ruth,
and I will let everybody know if we hear anything.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm certain that the reason is just that there's so many things going on with the city right now and we're
Yeah.
understaffed. So it's not that the mayor or anyone is ignoring the situation. It's just, there's a
there is
lot
a
to
lot.
accomplish.
Yeah.
Who's
definitely.
Roy?
May I-
The secretary.
Oh, Roy, is the
Mayor's
mayor's
assistant.
assistant. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Ri-
So Richard, you want to say something?
Yeah, just briefly, I just wanted to just emphasize what's already been said, how important it is I mean, it's already been 3 months, I think, since the applications came in. And how really important it is to get somebody, make sure we get somebody who's really going to be a very strong person, because so much is riding on this, how the master plan gets implemented, how we can bring together all the diverse and disparate elements of the arts community.
Yeah.
So much could be done with that. And it was very interesting going to the zoning meeting the other day to find out that they barely even knew about the arts and culture master plan.
Oh, geez.
That because there's nobody in position to be making this known and bringing together all of these elements. So it's hugely Hugely
Who was
important
it who
part of
didn't
what-
know? The consultants
The
didn't?
consultants didn't know, and I think I told them that you were the point person right now, Ruth Ann.
The
Because
Okay.
consultants
they need to
know.
get that plan.
Yeah, the other consultants who are working on the ARPA funding are aware. The reason, there's multiple reasons I think why the zoning consultants
Yeah.
might know, but I'll follow up with them.
Yeah, because I mean, this is a zoning initiative for the entire city. They're totally rewriting the code. It's
Yeah.
it's completely turning a new page. So it's really
Definitely.
important they get as much, and the consultants who were here for a week, I was very involved in a lot of the activities. You know, they really are going deep into the city, walking, seeing, talking, you know, they want as much input as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have our housing director is leaving.
Right, Kevin was very involved with all this, by the way.
Yeah, he's still involved. He's still there for a little while, but since we don't have a final arts and culture master plan yet, that's part of the issue, I think, with the zoning group. But I'll reach out to Kevin and the consultants.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they can see a
Thank you.
draft at a certain stage, or, I mean, but they're getting all their data
Yeah,
now.
What
That's
I
all.
did for the ARPA funding consultants is I just sent them the last draft of just the strategies, because they're focused on trying to see what existing plans
Where to fund, yeah.
and what are the programs we're trying to fund. So they're looking at that, and I'll do the same thing for the zoning
Great.
consultants.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Ruth. And the next point in the agenda will be the update of the master plan.
I'm sorry, what?
No. That the next point in the agenda,
that
is the master plan
status?
update. Yeah,
Well, I went through the narrative, the last draft of the narrative last week, and made a lot of edits and adjustments and sent it back to Eve at Lord. So
You're talking about the executive summary.
no,
you're
I'm talking
talking-
about the whole thing.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, we had made a lot of comments and then sent it back, and there were still some things that I found that needed adjustment. So I went through it and sent that back to her. She's got it now. She's waiting to hear from me early next week about the photos and any other design questions. So today I went into the office just to focus on it, and there is a list of design questions that I still have some issues with how she laid it out. One question I wanted to ask you guys is, I feel like the blue color choice she made is too bold or too strong. So I wanted your reaction to it. I can share, if you give me the ability, I can share my screen and show you what I'm talking about.
I thought we solidly selected a blue.
We did, and the designer didn't use it. So I
Well, maybe we should
great.
go back and tell them, because there's a way that we can select that blue. There's things online that you can go to that tell you exactly what the code is for that blue. And
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
the
tell them
Pantone
this is the
number.
code. I mean, Richard, you know this, obviously, sorry.
Yeah, I gave her a list of Pantone numbers to choose from. I'm not sure if they just, I think she has a certain style she goes for, and it's very strong colors, like the arts and culture, the presentation with the pinks and the purples that she did last winter. It's the same designer. So she's choosing those really strong colors. So that was one issue I still have. I made a list of topics, so let me just call that.
the last draft that you sent us with the new style, they have, this is almost like an aquamarine blue, the blue that I see in the new, but I don't know if you refer to that blue or
Yeah,
it's something different.
That blue, it's like a very strong turquoisey green sort of color.
I mean, I thought we kind of selected some colors, didn't we? Like the
We
blue.
did, but I wanted your reaction to what they actually presented. Do you guys like that, or?
Can you put it on the screen, Ruth Ann? I can't remember it. I'm looking.
I mean, it's a little bit darker than the Tiffany's color.
I just need the ability to share my screen. Let me see if I have that. I don't think I,
You're the host now.
okay. Just have to make sure okay, here it is. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, that green.
Sorry,
What
that's
do you mean
my,
about that green? 2021, that's the green?
Uh-huh.
yeah, this is the color I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And
So
there
I
are
would like
multiple issues
to
with
bring
the-
something up. That blue is very close to a color that is not readable for people with low vision. It looks actually very close to what used to be called non-repro blue.
And
Hmm.
I have to be honest, I'm frustrated because I feel like I'm doing the work that the consultants should be doing.
Yeah,
I'm going through
Absolutely.
many designers in the past on design projects, and there's just real basic things that are not good. Like this photograph is fuzzy. The people
Yeah.
they look sad. Why would
Yeah.
you look at
Or
that?
zombies.
Yeah.
And they're all white.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
That's a-
here, like this picture is facing out of the page. It should be on
Yeah.
the side facing in. That's a basic design. This is the McEntee picture. The bottom is cropped out. It's just, it's a little frustrating to me.
And the one of the historic structures is really about the street and not about the structures.
That's sort of my fault because I gave them that picture, but it doesn't translate well. And the designer should have picked up on that it didn't translate well.
Oh, I love that too. Where the introductee on.
Well,
But that happened in several pages.
because we're in the Word version, which always.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, never mind, never mind.
All right, so the issue at hand is this color. We
It
do,
has to be darkened, it has to be
That
made.
just does not work.
okay,
Absolutely not.
No.
and then,
And
no,
that
things
blue
like this.
box there,
This doesn't
no.
work next to this picture.
No,
Yeah, it's a lot of basic.
Flashes with a picture.
I thought it was like more of a slate blue that we wanted to use.
Yeah, it was a gray blue.
Okay, so I'll go back to them and talk about the blue.
Okay, yeah, that would fix a lot right there.
Yeah, let me go back to my list to see. I want to change the font too because I'm on multiple different computers every day, so I'm now on my personal laptop. But there are the intro, the section intro pages. There's like this
Yeah.
font looks too heavy to me. It's very horsey looking. So
Yeah.
what I would like to suggest is that we change it to Futura, which is a really good, let me just see if I can get out of this.
what is the font that they are using? Oh, it's
I think
Helvetica.
that's
El-
just-
Helvetica?
It's
It's
Helvetica.
Helvetica,
It's just a
yes.
basic,
Yeah, it's
I had
Helvetica.
it called up, hold on. Here, design notes. This is Futura. It has a little bit of
Yeah,
design
much better.
sense, but it doesn't have a heavy
Yeah,
serif look.
I
And
think that's what Volkswagen uses, right?
it's used broadly, but
much
it's
cooler.
a really good one.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna make that suggestion. Then
Let me try Futura.
another major point I wanted to make is that in the section for the economic impact analysis, that John Stover's designer formatted it as landscape, and the rest of our document is portrait. So when you read it online digitally, it's fine. But when you go to print it out, the whole master plan prints in landscape until you get to John Stover's report, then it prints, or excuse me, it's portrait and then it prints as landscape, so it's sideways. So when we print it in the document, if we want printed versions of it, part of the report or part of the plan is going to be sideways. So I wanted to ask you, is that an issue for all of you? If it is, it's a
I
little
think
bit.
it is. I don't think you want to read something that's sideways.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Well-
can they make it portrait, or the way it's designed, that'll be difficult?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. And supposedly they've been done since last winter with their portion of this project. So
Yeah,
I'm already
this-
going back to ask them to change photographs because everything's downtown.
I think one thing we should think about is, are people going to be reading a hard copy of this, or are they going to be reading it online? And if they're going to be reading it online, is that going to be, to me, that would be awkward. A hard copy would be less awkward. You just turn it. But reading it online, then you have to figure out how to turn the whole PDF.
Well,
That's awkward.
I mean,
No, it comes.
Okay, online in the digital version, they were able to format it so that it's upright.
but I think we decided that we wanted hard copies, for example, to hand to older people.
I agree that there are going to be hard copies, but we also want to make sure that we're being able to spread it as much digitally as possible.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not an issue on the digital side, it's just the print side. But
I think
I'm
the
raising
print
the-
side is fine as long as, I mean, if you have to turn it sideways to read it, it's okay. It's like a flip book. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think it's a big deal.
It
For
would
them to change their design would be monumental.
yeah, it would be a huge thing for us to change that. And it we should have, I mean, Lord actually should have picked up on it when they were designing, because everything should have been cohesive.
Yeah.
So now we're sort of backtracking a little bit. So
I
if
think that
you're-
when they did the economic impact, they were thinking more in a PowerPoint, and maybe that's why it's in landscape.
yeah, perhaps. For the cultural presentation that they did last winter, the pink and purple, I've asked Eve to summarize the content and place it in the same design as the rest of the plan and get rid of the pink and purple, so it'll incorporate more smoothly. So that's better. Then just so I don't go on too long about this, I think it would be useful to have a meeting next week with a core group of people, as many of you as possible, just to go through it a little bit more in more detail, especially with the photos. I was working on photos today. It's very difficult to
Yeah.
like putting a giant puzzle together.
Right.
So I don't want to take the time to go through that right now,
Mhm.
but would anyone be available sometime next week?
Yeah, I'm available. I'm not available Wednesday night, but other than that, I would be available.
Okay.
I'm not available Monday afternoon or Wednesday night, but other than that, I'm happy to be.
I just
Ruth-
want to also acknowledge that Lynn did a lot of work to help find more photos. So I'm working with images that she provided, as well as other things that I've dug up.
Yeah, and is Richard, are you there?
Yeah.
One thing is that, I contacted Ty and I never heard back, and it would be great to have a photo, if he has one, of the burial ground or of, the African American Festival. I'm just mentioning that because I haven't heard back, and so we're missing
I-
something.
I'm not in- I'm not in Harambe anymore.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No.
I
and
said I
don't-
would contact Frank, and I never did, but there are actually some other groups that are missing from.
Yeah,
from
it
the-
just would be good to have something from Harambe or Frank,
Yeah.
It would be very
I've
important.
tried, but I haven't
Yeah.
heard.
Okay, and then
Oh, and also one other thing, sorry, Marina Elena,
Yep.
we also wanted to make sure like the Latinx community was represented. And we don't really have, my memory is we didn't really have anything. So do you have any suggestions of something we might include that represents that population?
We may be able to use some of the pictures that we use for the Latino study, because that's the only thing that I can have access to. And, the reality is that we don't really have any inclusive event that is representative of the Hispanic population.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have like Cinco de Mayo, and I wish I'd taken photographs.
Yeah, but those were celebrations that were basically more like a private initiative. They were not cultural events.
Right.
So I don't know if we can have access to the photos that I have seen are not precisely the photos that you would like to have in the report. But I'm gonna review with Eleanor, the ones that we have for the Latino study.
Uh-huh.
And for sure, we will have some of the
Yeah,
activities.
even
there.
just like one or something, you know?
There's
be
also
good.
the possibility of going to the Rear Center for the Multicultural Festival.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
the
idea. But
multicultural
we have a
festival has
ton
a
of
lot
stuff
of-
from Sarah. So maybe we should look through those again.
Yeah, we can look through them. What she had sent me, there weren't a lot that I felt were workable for the plan, just because maybe they showed close-ups of children's faces that maybe we shouldn't include, or it was just the puppets they were making out of context. So I haven't thoroughly thought that part through yet.
Okay.
The thing
Well,
is,
no, yeah, I'm not
within-
talking about the Worry Dolls. I'm talking about the Multicultural Festival with groups performing.
but Ruthann, the other point is that if we did have a picture like that, the caption could make it clear what
Yeah.
it is. You know, we obviously have to have captions.
Yeah,
And
That-
we're putting in photos of children in our window for the Worry Dolls, and we're not using their names at all.
So it's not a problem using somebody.
I
who
actually
can't-
don't
'cause
know.
a lot of people, because most people in these photographs won't be identified anyway.
No, they won't. I don't think the city has a policy on it. I know some organizations do, like they might want you to blur out children's faces or have a consent form ahead of time. But I don't think the city actually has a policy. So I'll ask about that. But at any rate.
I just put something in our chat that if you go to it, there's a cool picture of the performing group Sabor Latino, and they're playing congas and marimba, I think.
In Kingston.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Pablo Shine.
Exactly.
Yeah, I took a photograph of them at the farmer's market, but it wasn't as good as that one.
Yeah, actually that would be used.
That looks great.
It's
Maybe we could
great,
use
right?
that.
There's good colors in that.
Could you?
Yep.
Well, I'll try to grab that out of the chat. All right, and then the last major item is I think we really need to review the cultural assets list. We haven't paid a lot of attention to that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing problems in it just by glancing at it earlier today. Back in January, I had asked John to really vet it for individual artists. And I don't think that ever actually happened. And maybe we shouldn't be including individual artists in that list because there's so many who are not on the list.
Yeah.
It create a problem. So if everyone could take a look at that. I'm seeing a few things that are not in correct alphabetical order and maybe confusion because of the way it's laid out and some missing organizations. So that's a very important part of this project.
I'm sorry, I somehow I did something because I was checking Peter's chat thing and I can't get back the audio visual. Does anyone know how I do that? I clicked on the photo that Peter sent and then I lost the screen.
If you
Lynn, there
look at the
should be,
windows that you have open.
there should be a little, on the very bottom of your screen, there should be something that looks like a little camera.
Okay,
And you'll have, there will be two of them. One will be what Peter sent you and one will be the screen of us.
oh, okay, I'm sorry. On the Zoom page?
Yeah.
Sorry, okay, I
So
see.
at the very bottom of the screen, make sure you're minimized. Make sure you're not on full screen.
Okay, minimize, I'm sorry to hold everyone up. I can just do it by phone if I can't figure this out, but
But you can hear us, right?
yeah, I can hear you. So I can still be
Okay.
part of the meeting. Let me just fiddle. I don't want to hold people up. So I'm here. So
And
keep
Ruthann,
thinking.
if you look, I put a second link in the chat, which
Yep.
has a whole bunch of pictures from the
The
multicultural. Festival.
multicultural
And
festival.
there's some really good ones in there.
Okay.
Oh, there.
Well, the photo project is big. And just to close, what I'm going to say is we're behind schedule from what I had hoped. I thought we would be done by now, but it's going to be more like early December. Eve is expecting final photos and captions from me next week, and I don't really see that happening.
Mm.
So
What
I'll
about,
just do my
what
best.
about the, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
wondering about the executive summary.
That's in the new version that we sent around.
Oh, okay, I have to look at that. Sorry.
And Rudan, next week for the meeting that you would like to have, I could make it Thursday or Friday after 4, or maybe Friday morning only, at the only time that I could make it.
I could make it Friday morning too.
Friday morning. I think I can do Friday morning too. Should we do
Okay,
Friday morning,
yeah, like a 9 or 10?
9?
9, perfect.
Okay. So I'll send a calendar invite for that. So we don't
Thank you.
forget. Okay, so, you know, the week after that is Thanksgiving. So, you know, I
Yeah.
don't think it's likely that we'll have anything to see from Lord until first week of December, pretty much.
Yeah.
But as long as if we can get this finished by mid-December, we have plenty of time to be ready to go in January. So
Did you read the executive summary?
Perfect.
I mean, I know we have to read it, but did it look like it was something we
it's
can use?
better. I think what you should do is wait until, well, I did a lot of edits on Eve's version. I can share that with everybody if you'd like to see, because she wasn't planning on sending corrections back to me until she got the photos. So just to expedite things, I'll resend it with my own edits to all of you. And then, but keep in mind, like, the photos are really not at all right.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
we will change those out, and the design elements will change too. So I'll do that
Okay.
tomorrow.
Ruth Ann, I just
Thank
sent a couple of photos that might be helpful from the Ask archives. Feel free
Great,
to
because
use them or
actually
not if
Ask
needed.
Ask was one of the missing organizations
Yep.
from our photo. 'Cause,
Oh, I remember I sent a bunch to Addie a long time ago. But yeah, I
I
can
don't-
send more if you need. I got plenty.
Okay, I'll take a look at what you sent me and see. I don't have access to Addie's
If
files.
there's
I
anything,
don't know where she put the photos. So I'll see if I can fix that.
Really appreciate all you're doing on this, Ruth Ann.
yeah, Ruth,
Enormous
definitely.
job.
Thanks. I'll continue to try to get it right. I just don't want us to settle on something that we're not happy with. So
Yeah,
it's important to take the time.
Yeah, but
we really appreciate that.
yeah, it's great what you're
You
doing.
have like a lot on your plate, but thank you for that, Rudan.
Thank you. You
Um,
guys, I think I'm gonna sign off right now. So if there's nothing else you need from me, I'll say goodnight.
Good night.
Okay,
Okay.
Good
thank
night.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
I'll
We'll see you
Bye-bye.
next week.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.